But when they re-release the old games on new consoles, they put in save states. So you could like save state, and then if you die, you just reload the save state. You don't have to start again from all the way from the beginning. They choose to do that. Like they make the conscious decision to put save states into their old game, which, you know, obviously it changes the game, right? It allows you to save scum. One of the things that it allows you to do, for example, is that you don't have to, like, you're not punished for finding out what happens next, right? And you're not punished for exploring. You're not punished for taking risks, because you can like save state, try something. If it doesn't work, load the save state. And like, you don't have to use the save state. I mean, like, I guess it's an option, right? You have the option to save scum though, and the option to save scum makes the older games much more playable for a much wider audience, because it's less frustrating, it's less annoying. Let's see, there's gonna be a bridge here. I mean, I find that interesting. Because it is a change that they make to the game. A change that they consciously make to the game when they redo it. They add that function to it. Or Mega Man, I guess like Mario is not that bad, especially like Mario 1, the first one. It's not really that bad. Mega Man is the really bad one. Bad in the sense that there are parts of that game where if you don't know what's gonna happen next, you will just die. And that's so obnoxious. That is such obnoxious game design. There are parts in Mega Man where like, it's like, this like you're falling down, there's spikes everywhere, and like, you know, the corridors kind of bend and move and stuff, and so like you're just falling straight down, so you're free falling. And you don't have time to react. Like if the tunnel like does that, you have to be like moving immediately. You don't have time to like, oh there's spikes there, let me start moving to one way, and then oh there's spikes there, let me start moving. Like if you think, you're too slow. So the way to like get through this kind of falling maze, spike maze, is you have to know what the next screen is gonna be, and you have to be in the right place before you see the next screen, otherwise you are too slow and you die. So the only way to get through that part of the game is you know what the screens are gonna be. You know what the next part is gonna look like, and so you like, in one screen you put yourself in the right position so that in the next screen you survive, and then you move to the next screen, and you have to know what's gonna come next before that you see it. Like what? There's no time to react. And the only way to know that is if you've seen it before, right? You have to play through it once, die a lot of times, and then after you've died in every single screen, and you've memorized what every single screen looks like, then you can do it. So basically you have to die over and over again just to do it, just to get through it. Right? A completely obnoxious game design. Atrocious game design, really. Because like you have to die to learn what to do. Right? You are punished for learning what to do. It sounds awful. But you know, old video games do that kind of nonsense because I don't know, that's the challenge, I guess. I mean, maybe they thought it was funny. And like, it's not, it feels like you're being cheated, and you kind of are. being cheated. But when they re-released the game on modern consoles, they put in save states. And with the save states, you're not punished for learning, right? You just save state, you die a whole bunch of times, learn the map, and you load the save state, and then you do it once. And you don't lose anything, you don't lose lives. And that feels much, much, much better with the save state. So that is an example of games where the way the game designers intended was really not a good idea. Like, it never was a good idea. The good idea is to put in save states into that game and let people save scum. Like, you never design a game for save scumming. Or you really shouldn't design a game for save scumming. But sometimes save scumming allows a game to be playable. Which I don't want to do that, do I? Allows a game to be playable where it otherwise wouldn't be playable. What was I doing? I'm supposed to put that back. Right, like save scumming compensates for bad game design, basically. So going back to Todd Howard's "It Just Works," it's not that it just works. Bethesda games don't just work. The players make Bethesda games work by playing the game in ways that the game designers don't intend. That's how they work. They work because the players don't play the game the way they are designed. Right? Isn't that interesting? I think it's interesting. It's not just Bethesda either. Fallout New Vegas. I really don't understand people liking Fallout New Vegas so much more than like Fallout 3 or Fallout 4 or whatever. I don't know, like... Anyway, I'm just gonna... Let me not like criticize other people too much. But the way I play Fallout New Vegas is just as ridiculous as the way I play any other Bethesda game, because what happens is what the game designers intend for you to do is you... Oh crap. These trees really have to go, huh? Like, you start in Goodsprings, you start in the middle of the map almost. And you like go down to the southwest, go all the way around from southwest to southeast, and then you go back up north, and you come back into the middle, and then you go to the northeast of the game where the dam is. Basically, you just go around in a big circle around the whole map. But you don't have to do that. What I do is I go straight from the starting point to the middle where New Vegas is. And in New Vegas, there's casinos where you can save scum your way into getting a lot of money. It's gambling in a video game where there's saving. So you just save the game, gamble. If you win, you save again. If you lose, you load the game. So you just save scum your way through the gambling. And you get infinite money, basically. It's not infinite, but it's basically infinite. You don't need to do anything else for money ever again if you do that. And like, you get some pretty overpowered implants. So what I do is but to do that, to go from Goodsprings up to New Vegas, you have to sneak past a bunch of Deathclaws, which would be difficult if it weren't for the fact that you can save scum through that as well. So you save scum your way through the Deathclaws, and you save scum your way through the gambling. And then basically you're overpowered for the rest of the game. And then for the rest of the game, you're just completely OP. You just get powerful implants, get the best weapons. But not like the best, but pretty good weapons. And you don't have to worry about anything else for the rest of the game. And yeah, that's how I play New Vegas. And the way I see it, that is just as ridiculous as any other Bethesda game. So I don't see how New Vegas is any better than any of the other ridiculous Bethesda games where you do ridiculous things. And where you play the game completely differently from how the game designers intend. But that's one of the big selling points, right? One of the big selling points of Bethesda games is you can do whatever the hell you like. Right? You start playing the game, you can do the main quest, or you can just start walking in somewhere, pick a direction, start walking, and just do stuff. Right? It's a sandbox. It's a big sandbox. You can do whatever the hell you like. And it turns out whatever the hell you like includes save scumming. If whatever the hell you like doesn't include save scumming, the game is a lot less fun. Okay, this bridge, what's going on here? This is not actually a river. I mean, there's no water here. So this bridge doesn't have to be navigable. I don't have to make sure that ships can pass through here, or like boats can pass through. Even this game, Minecraft, there's a whole lot of things people do to make it playable, where if those things were not allowed, the game would have a much smaller player base. Modding is a big one, right? A lot of people love mods, and if you take away the mods, a lot of people will stop playing. Another one is like, people like edit maps. They do map editing, they do saves game editing too. If you take those away, and a whole bunch of people will stop playing. Not that everyone does that, but some people do that. Right, some people like literally use a map editor to make stuff. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what they enjoy doing, then why not, right? Like if they enjoy building stuff just not in the game's user interface, but a different user interface. Who's to say that's not a legitimate way of playing the game, right? I mean, it's just like creative mode, but with a different user interface, basically. And that's fine. That's cool too. There's stuff like game rules, like mob griefing. A lot of people turn that off because they don't like Endermen or creepers. Right, like if you ask people, do you like creepers? Some people will say yes, some people will say no. If you ask people, do you like Endermen? Some people will say yes, some people will say no, right? And so then you give people the option to turn off creepers and Endermen. And that keeps both parties happy, right? If you want them, you have them. If you don't want them, you don't have them. Easy. So giving players that option means that more people are happy with the game. Even though they're really playing different games because like they're playing by different rules. But the game like allows that, it accommodates that. Let me just extend this straight down, keep it simple. Oh wait, let me use this. Personally, I don't see what Endermen actually do for the game. Endermen, the fact that they pick up blocks is what I'm talking about. Like, what does that add to the game? It doesn't add anything to the game. It does not make the game better in any way. Why is it in the game? Why do they pick up your blocks? Why do they, like, why do they grief, basically, is this? Why do they, like, move stuff around and ruin your builds? What is the point of that? Anyway, I think Endermen are stupid. So I turn off mob griefing, and then it's fine. Oh, I guess I leave the mushroom there. I don't want to destroy the mushroom. But the game lets you choose, right? And that's the thing that I'm... No, that's the point of what I'm trying to say is... The game lets you choose whether to have mob griefing. And you know, if you run your own server, you can choose the server rules. If you're playing single player, you choose your own single player rules. Whereas, if they have official Minecraft servers, where you're not allowed to set the rules, then you don't choose the rules. And that's kind of like that's what Fallout 76 is. It's like you can't choose your own rules. And so then a lot of people don't like it. Like all the people who enjoy modding Bethesda games don't enjoy Fallout 76 because there's no modding, it's that simple, right? No save scumming, no modding, no console. And you take those away, it turns out the player base that wants to play the game becomes much smaller when you take out those options. Fascinating. And especially, like, what the players liked in the first place is not really what the game designers designed. What they liked is what the game designers allowed them to do despite what the game designers thought they were doing. Does that make sense? What the players liked is not what the game designers gave them, but what the game designers didn't give them but let them do anyway. I guess when you let people save scum, as a game designer, you don't have to really care too much about this stuff. Because if you design something bad, the players will just fix it themselves. And that takes a lot of the responsibility away from the game designer. Right, it makes it a lot easier to make the game because you don't really have to make it good for everyone. If people will just play it the way they like, no matter what you do. It's not easy to design a game then. Whereas it's a lot harder to make a game that everyone likes. If you don't give people the freedom to modify things or to play the thing in ways that you don't intend.